Hey guys, are you thinking about investing, or you have started investing and have a lot of questions? I know it can be quite overwhelming in your investment journey because we have been there. We have been investing for over 10 years now, and that is a lot of things that comes to your mind every time that you're making a move. Such as, what do you buy? Do you buy some crypto? Do you buy some shares? Do you buy some real estate? And if you buy real estate, where do you buy? When do you buy it? And in today's video, we're gonna cover the basics and go through some of the steps that we have gone through. So first, we're gonna talk about saving money. You cannot invest without having some cash. So we're gonna talk about how can you get some money even in very low income, because that's how we started. The second thing that we're gonna cover is debt. Debt can be your friend, but it can be also your worst enemy. So you just have to be very careful how you deal with that. Thirdly, emergency funds. How do you build one and how you maintain it? Because you need to have a bit of buffer in there if you want to keep on going and investing. And then we're going to share our investment journey and what we have done so far, because we're still investing and we still want to go further. And we want to share some of those things with you. And stick to the end, because we're going to share with you what we would do today if we're starting right now. Because there are a lot of things that you can do in today's market if you want to start your investment journey.
So welcome. This is our channel. This is our very first video, so we're very nervous about it, and hopefully we'll take some traction. So welcome. Our channel is called Talk About Money, obviously. So my name is Inda, and this is my husband, awesome husband, Daniel. Between the two of us, in the past 10 years, we have managed to build a multi-million dollars portfolio. And recently we just set up our self-managed super fund to enable us to diversify our investment even further. Bear in mind that we are not financial advisors, right? So we are just a run-of-the-mill mum and dad. We have 2 little kids. This channel is really about us sharing our learning, our experience, our, what we did well and what we didn't do well. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, share us some love, show us some love, click on the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment.
So how did we save money despite having very low incomes to start with? As you can tell by the accent, we both migrated to Australia about 20 years ago.
A long time ago.
And we didn't have much to start with, to be honest. We have both studied and worked very hard as international students to end up getting our permanent residency in Australia. So we had to hustle. And what we found is that we have a very similar attitude towards money, which was really good to help us to build the journey to where we are today. We started both working in hospitality, and as you know, it's an industry that doesn't pay extremely well. So we had to stick to a budget, and we always lived below our means. That really helped us to set the foundation to what we still use today, which is basically save every single bit of disposable income that we have. And with that, you can always have that money to put aside and to invest and do other things with it. So we're gonna share with you some of the saving tips that we used today and we started using when we started saving some money. The first one is avoid impulsive buying. I know it's quite hard. You want to buy a new TV, or you want to buy a new dress. Whatever it is quite easy to let the emotions take the best of you and let you make that impulsive buying. So our tip is to wait a few days. Wait a week, wait 2, because if you really need it, you're always going to go back and end up buying that item. So by not doing it at the right moment that you want to do it, sometimes just sleeping over help you not to spend that money. And that's actually a very good tip. So the second one is make up for it. So let's say if you spoil yourself and you buy that item that you really wanted. Work some extra hours, do a side hustle, but try to make up the cash and pay for that purchase. So the third one is create separate accounts. So let's say you want to go on holidays. Create a separate account for it, and on a weekly basis, monthly basis, put the money aside and out of the way and start building some savings towards your goal.
Second thing is be careful with debt. How are you with credit cards? Everybody have credit cards, right? And it's funny how many people that I talk to, they go, oh, I'll just pay the $20, which is the minimum payment for your credit cards. That's not the right way of having a credit card. Look, having a credit card would be very helpful. It helps with your cash flow and your offset account. But the good way of having a credit card is you have to pay full every month. And then you go, well, so good debt versus bad debt. What's a good debt? Good debt is a debt that actually would put you in a better financial position, and usually it's because you're buying it on an appreciating asset or cash flow. As an example, obviously property, and that's just a good debt. What's a bad debt? Bad debt is just a liability, isn't it? Bad debt is simply buying an asset that is depreciating. You know, like a new car. Everybody knows as soon as you drive it out of the showroom, it depreciates by $5,000. Remember, bad debt, any debt actually, whether that's a good debt or bad debt, what might hold you back in the future when you actually want to buy a property or any investment type of thing.
So how do you establish an emergency fund? The moment you start saving, the first thing that you should do is build an emergency fund. About 2/3 of Australians don't have a safety net for emergencies. The survey found only 38% of respondents have more than $5,000 in savings. Despite the majority of financial experts recommending we all have 3 months worth of expenses saved in case of emergency. I found this crazy. Imagine if you have a medical issue or you need cash for something quite urgent. What if you lose your job? What are you gonna do? Wouldn't you feel safer if you have a bit of a cushion behind you? Start with a goal of saving 1 month's worth of your income and then stretch it to 3. And I would really recommend you to then move to 6 months. That would be a really decent buffer to have, and also is gonna teach you how to save money.
Now we're getting to the really exciting part for us anyway, the beginning of our investment journey. So we got our permanent residency in 2006, and then prior to that we are unable to actually land at a white collar job. So once we got the permanent residency, we have the more confident to actually apply for the role and actually be able to work full time for that. So believe it or not, we started on a very low income of about $40,000 each. And that we were happy, we were ecstatic about it because that's the most money that we've ever earned. And by the time, like in 2008, we got married and progress on our prospective careers slowly but surely. And by the time GFC hit, we had managed to save about $70,000 between the two of us. So with that, we managed to buy our first home after 6 months of research. So we initially started with 2-bedroom townhouses. We ending up buying a 3-bedroom townhouse in Upper North Shore. We decided that, you know, obviously it is more than what we were expected to spend. But so what we did is we rented the 2 extra rooms to help the finance it to pay the mortgages. And believe it or not, I couldn't sleep. I don't know about you, Daniel. Thinking the first time we signed a loan for 30 years, it was something that we just never thought that we could do, but we did. And then after that, after 3 years in that property, it increases in price, and we managed to refinance it. With the refinancing, we managed to get a deposit to buy a block of land in Central Coast in 2012, and we built a house. We spent $475,000. In today's worth is about $1 million. So that was, and when we bought that, we have no idea about investing, nothing. So no kidding, the next 6 months was just attending all those free seminars about investment. And sitting there, you know, it's a whole day. It's a long day every weekend, preparing ourselves and educating ourselves about this new word for us, an investment. We would never even dream about it. 2 years later, believe it or not, we managed to buy another block of land and build the house in Upper North Shore again. That's our PPOR.
Just one.
So look, we're going to get a separate video with more details about each property because obviously that's the interesting part as well. In total today, we have a total of 9 properties and we couldn't be more proud of it, isn't it? Like, and then we're on a target to buy a 10th property.
So if you were starting today, what would we do? You might say,
that was 10 years ago, there was a different market, you're getting different income, blah, blah, blah.
reality is you can start today. Even if you have zero money, you're still gonna have to save, and it may take 2-3 years to build a little bit of a nest egg to be able to start in property, but you could start in different asset classes. But let's say you wanted to buy a property just for argument's sake. If you get the basics right, you are gonna be able to achieve your goals. What I can't understand today is how a young couple can actually purchase a property of $1.5-2 million and be able to invest after that. They are trapped on that debt because that's their own home and they're not going to be able to invest any further for a long period of time. So I see 2 ways of getting around that. So either people buy their own houses or apartments somewhere they can afford, and that means that they may have to move a little bit further out than they intended to. We did that. We started looking at a specific area, and as the market got more expensive, we had to go and look further out, and we did that a few times. The second option is to rent-vest. You can live where you want to live, renting. However, you purchase somewhere you can afford as an investment. And if that investment brings you the cash flow and also brings you the capital growth that you need to be able to progress in your investment journey, you can then rinse and repeat that every couple of years, and you can build your portfolio that way. And I can give a very good example. We just purchased 2 properties recently in the last 6 months in our self-managed super fund that really fit that criteria. We bought a 3-bedroom villa in Perth for $205,000, and that's renting today for $370 per week. That's cash flow positive and in an area that I'm pretty sure that is going to grow. And we also got a property in Brisbane, a 2-bedroom townhouse for $220,000, and that rents for $310 per week. Again, cash flow positive, and it is in an area that has very good prospect for growth. So there you are. There are 2 really good examples of properties that you can go out there and start your investment journey.
So that's our first video. So thank you so much for spending the time to watch our videos and sharing our first, inside of our life. Look, check the link below and you'll find a bunch of resources for you. So we built an app. It's called it's a real estate app called Knock Knock, and it's free to join and you can get several cool insight on suburb and listing in Australia. We wish that the information that is in that app were there when we were looking. There's also our Facebook group to ask questions. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
And see you soon.